The Galactic Council's grand chamber buzzed with tension. High Chancellor Varen, his patience worn thin, slammed his fist on the table. "Damn it, Cole, what kind of cursed bullshit is this fleet of yours?" Captain Jason Cole, calm and composed, met Varen's glare. "The kind that saves your sorry asses from an ancient evil. Now, sit down and listen." Months earlier, back on Earth, the fleet had been preparing for its departure. Rumors swirled around the ships, whispering of curses and unexplained disappearances. Jason had heard the stories, but dismissed them as superstition. As the commander, he had to stay focused on the mission. "Captain, all systems are go," reported Lieutenant Harper, her voice steady despite the underlying tension. The crew was anxious, their fear palpable in the sterile corridors of the flagship, Eclipse. Jason nodded. "Good. We leave in an hour. Let's make sure everything is in top shape." As the fleet launched into the black void of space, the first incident occurred. A sudden drop in temperature swept through the eclipse, and shadows seemed to dance just out of sight. Crew members exchanged nervous glances, whispers of the curse growing louder. In the engine room, Jason met Elena, the ship's engineer. She was an enigma, her knowledge of the fleet's systems unmatched. But it was her eyes, filled with secrets and caution, that intrigued him the most. "Captain, there's something you should know," Elena said, her voice low. "These ships, they're not just haunted by rumors. There's something real here, something ancient and dangerous." Jason frowned. "What are you talking about, Elena?" She hesitated before continuing. "An artifact. An ancient alien artifact hidden aboard one of the ships. It's the source of the curse." Skepticism mixed with curiosity in Jason's mind. "And you know this how?" "I've been researching it for years. My father was on the original expedition that found it. It's powerful and deadly." Jason rubbed his temples, the weight of his responsibilities growing heavier. "All right, keep this quiet. We don't need the crew panicking more than they already are." The fleet's first assignment was to patrol a sector where ships had been disappearing. As they neared their destination, the eerie phenomena intensified. Ghostly apparitions flickered in the corridors, and eerie whispers echoed through the ship. Back in the present, the council chamber was silent as Jason continued his account. "We encountered the artifact. It's real, and it's dangerous. We're not dealing with just a curse, but an ancient evil that wants to consume everything in its path." Varen's expression shifted from anger to unease. "And you think you can control this artifact?" The cursed fleet's first assignment was to patrol a sector where ships had been vanishing without a trace. As the fleet approached the designated area, tension among the crew grew palpable. They whispered among themselves, casting wary glances down the shadowed corridors of the flagship, Eclipse. "Captain, we're entering the patrol zone," reported Lieutenant Harper, her voice betraying a slight tremor. The control room was unnaturally quiet, each officer absorbed in their thoughts. "Stay sharp," Jason Cole ordered, scanning the monitors for any sign of danger. "We don't know what we're dealing with." As the ships glided through the sector, the strange phenomena intensified. Ghostly apparitions appeared on the bridge, flickering like faulty holograms. Eerie whispers echoed in the halls, growing louder and more insistent. Unexplained malfunctions plagued the fleet, from sudden engine failures to life support glitches. In the engine room, Elena worked frantically to keep the ship running. She felt a cold chill run down her spine and turned to see a shadowy figure looming behind her. She blinked, and it was gone. Later, she sought out Jason, her face pale. "Captain, we need to talk." Jason led her to a private corner of the mess hall. "What's going on, Elena?" She glanced around nervously before speaking. "The fleet is cursed by an ancient alien artifact hidden aboard one of the ships. It's the source of all these phenomena, the disappearances. It's real." Jason frowned. "Why didn't you tell me this sooner?" Elena sighed, her voice trembling. "Because it's more powerful and dangerous than you can imagine. My father. He was on the original expedition that found it. He barely survived, and he warned me never to go near it." Jason took a deep breath. "We need to find it and understand it before it destroys us all." Through flashbacks and Elena's hesitant narration, the artifact's dark history unfolded. It was created by an ancient alien race designed to protect something of immense value. However, its power had turned malevolent over the millennia, cursing any who came into contact with it. The crew's fear and paranoia escalated as the incidents became more frequent and severe. Strange noises, flickering lights, and ghostly apparitions plagued their every move. Murmurs of mutiny began to spread through the lower decks. "We can't keep this up, Captain," said Sergeant Diaz, his usually stern face lined with worry. "The men are losing their nerve. We need answers, and we need them fast." Jason struggled to maintain order, his own doubts gnawing at him. "We'll get through this, Sergeant." "We have to." "Keep the men in line and stay focused." Discipline frayed further when a crew member, driven mad by fear, tried to sabotage the ship's systems. He was subdued, but the incident left the crew even more on edge. The haunted fleet was on high alert as they approached the desolate alien planet where the artifact was believed to be hidden. Captain Jason Cole stood on the bridge of the flagship, Eclipse, his gaze fixed on the barren landscape below. "Elena, are you sure about this?" Jason asked, his voice low but steady. Elena, standing beside him, nodded. "This is it, Jason. The source of the curse. We need to find it and put an end to this." The fleet split up, with smaller teams assigned to different parts of the planet and surrounding space. Jason led the main team, which included Elena and a handful of the most trusted crew members. As they descended to the planet's surface, the atmosphere grew tense. "Stay close and keep your eyes open," Jason ordered. "We don't know what we're dealing with down here." The planet was a desolate wasteland, with jagged rocks and swirling dust storms obscuring their vision. As they moved forward, the crew encountered increasingly dangerous supernatural events. Visions of past battles flickered in and out of view, and eerie whispers filled the air. "Captain, over here," Lieutenant Harper called, pointing to a narrow cave entrance. The team cautiously entered, their flashlights casting long, flickering shadows on the walls. Inside, they encountered ancient traps designed to protect the artifact. Jason narrowly avoided a set of spikes that shot out from the walls, while Elena disarmed a series of pressure plates that would have triggered a deadly collapse. "This place is a nightmare," muttered Sergeant Diaz, wiping sweat from his brow. What the hell were these aliens trying to protect? As they ventured deeper into the cave, the air grew colder, and a sense of malevolence seemed to permeate the very stone. Finally, they entered a large chamber, at the center of which sat the artifact, an ominous, glowing orb pulsating with dark energy. Elena stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the artifact. This is it. The source of the curse. Jason approached the artifact, feeling a strange pull, as if it were trying to draw him closer. We end this now, for the sake of the entire fleet. Suddenly, the artifact's malevolent presence manifested, taking the form of a shadowy spectral figure. It loomed over the crew, its intent clear: to consume them and spread chaos throughout the galaxy. "Get back!" Jason shouted, raising his weapon. The figure lunged, and the room erupted into chaos. The crew fought bravely, but their attacks seemed to pass through the entity without effect. Elena, focusing her mind, remembered the ancient texts her father had shown her. It's not just a physical battle. We have to use its own power against it. Using her knowledge of the artifact, Elena began to counter its influence, drawing the malevolent energy into herself and then redirecting it back at the entity. The spectral figure writhed in agony, its form destabilizing. "Keep it up, Elena," Jason urged, fending off spectral attacks with the rest of the crew. Finally, with a burst of light, the entity dissipated and the artifact's glow dimmed. The cave was silent, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. Elena collapsed to her knees, exhausted. Jason rushed to her side. "You did it, Elena. You saved us all." She looked up at him, a faint smile on her lips. "We did it, Jason, together." The cursed fleet, now fully mobilized and on high alert, drifted back into the cold expanse of space. Captain Jason Cole stood on the bridge of the flagship Eclipse, a determined glint in his eyes. The artifact, though contained, pulsed ominously in a secured chamber, its power barely understood. "Elena, what's our status?" Jason asked, turning to the engineer who had become his indispensable ally. "We've secured the artifact, but it's still emitting energy signatures that could attract unwanted attention," Elena replied, her brow furrowed with concern. "We need to stay vigilant." Their fears were soon realized. The fleet's sensors picked up the approach of a hostile alien race, drawn by the artifact's power. The invaders, known as the Zorath, were notorious for exploiting weaknesses and showed no mercy in their conquests. "Captain, we have incoming vessels," Lieutenant Harper reported, her voice tense. "The Zorath are on an intercept course." Jason's jaw tightened. "All hands to battle stations. Prepare for engagement." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, the weight of their recent experiences making them more resolute. Jason gathered his senior officers in the war room, a holographic display showing the approaching enemy fleet. "We can't let them get their hands on the artifact," Jason said, his voice firm. "Elena, can we use its power to our advantage?" Elena nodded, her confidence growing. "I've been studying it." "I think we can channel its energy, turn the curse into a weapon." Jason gave a sharp nod. "Do it. We'll use everything we have." The fleet braced for battle. Elena worked tirelessly, calibrating the artifact's energy output and integrating it with the ship's systems. As the Zorath ships closed in, Jason addressed his crew. "This fleet may be cursed, but today we turn that curse into our greatest weapon," he declared. "We fight not just for survival, but to protect the galaxy from this ancient evil." The Zorath struck first, their advanced weaponry battering the fleet's shields. But Jason was ready. "Elena, now." Elena activated the artifact, and a surge of supernatural energy rippled through the fleet. Ghostly apparitions and eerie phenomena materialized around the ships, confusing and terrifying the Zorath. "Deploy the spectral guardians," Jason commanded. The fleet unleashed waves of energy that manifested as spectral warriors, clashing with the Zorath forces. The enemy, unprepared for the supernatural assault, faltered. "This is incredible," Lieutenant Harper whispered, watching the ghostly figures fight alongside them. Elena, though exhausted, managed a proud smile. "The artifact's power is ours to command. Let's show them what it means to face Earth's cursed fleet." The battle raged on, but the tide had turned. The Zorath, overwhelmed by the fleet's new capabilities, began to retreat. Jason pressed the advantage, coordinating strikes with precision and ferocity. "Keep the pressure on," he shouted. "Don't let them regroup." The fleet moved as one, a cohesive unit fueled by determination and the eerie power of the artifact. One by one, the Zorath ships fell, their once invincible force crumbling under the assault. Finally, the last of the Zorath retreated, their defeat undeniable. The cursed fleet stood victorious, the supernatural phenomena fading as the artifact's energy stabilized. Jason looked around at his crew, pride swelling in his chest. "We did it. We turned our curse into our greatest strength." The Galactic Council chambers buzzed with heated debate. The unexpected victory of Earth's cursed fleet against the Zorath invaders had sent shockwaves through the political elite. High Chancellor Varen, known for his skepticism of Earth's rising power, stood, his expression a mix of begrudging respect and concern. "We underestimated Earth's fleet," Varen admitted, his voice carrying over the murmurs. "They are a force to be reckoned with, but this power is dangerous." A council member from a neighboring system interjected. "Dangerous, yes, but also vital. They've shown resilience and resourcefulness. We cannot ignore their potential as allies." The debate continued, the council divided. Finally, a decision was reached to summon Captain Jason Cole to explain the events firsthand. Jason, clad in his uniform, stood tall as he entered the grand chamber, the weight of his crew's sacrifices evident in his eyes. "Captain Cole," Varen began, "your fleet's actions have been extraordinary. Explain how you managed such a feat." Jason took a deep breath, stepping forward. "Members of the Council, our fleet's journey has been fraught with danger, not just from the Zorath, but from an ancient evil tied to an alien artifact. This artifact, the source of the so-called curse, nearly destroyed us, but we turned its power into our greatest weapon." The council listened intently as Jason recounted the eerie encounters, the battles fought, and the ultimate victory achieved by harnessing the artifact's supernatural energy. His words painted a vivid picture of courage and ingenuity. "We faced the unknown and emerged stronger," Jason concluded, his voice steady and resolute. "This fleet is ready for whatever comes next." The chamber was silent for a moment, then erupted in applause. High Chancellor Varen, though still wary, nodded in reluctant respect. "Captain Cole, you and your crew have proven yourselves. We recognize the strategic value of your fleet and the strength of Earth's defenders." Elena, standing quietly at the back, watched with pride as Jason spoke. Her knowledge and bravery had been integral to their success, and now she was being acknowledged as a hero. After the session, she joined Jason as they walked back to the ship. "You did well, Jason," Elena said, her eyes shining. "We did well." Jason smiled, the weight of their journey lifting slightly. "We did. And now we have more work ahead." As the fleet set course for their next destination, Jason stood on the bridge, looking out into the vast expanse of space. "We've shown the galaxy what we're made of. Let's keep it that way."